Trump is de-dollarizing the whole Middle East. Iraqi says it is now getting to a point where we will soon start to share with you everything. There is going to be a period very soon where they will give in-country information to the citizens. This information is only of the citizens. It is not for anybody outside of Iraq. Then, at that point, legally, Iraqi can talk to you and I. You are watching Con Baba. Today, December 24th evening. On the news now today, the Central Bank of Iraq has reduced the total circulation of Iraqi dinar by about 5.5% in the third quarter of 2025. That brings the money supply down to roughly 99.68 trillion dinars, or about $76 billion US. The main goal is to keep inflation in check, which should support the dinar's value. They are telling you they have collected a lot of 3 zeros. In May 2024, the UN Security Council unanimously adopted Resolution 2732, accepting Iraq's request to terminate UNAMI on the 31st of December 2025, which is now the official end date for that mission. Other UN agencies, UNDP, UNICEF, etc., can continue operating in Iraq after 2025 under normal development and humanitarian frameworks. So this is an end to the special political mission, not all UN activity in the country. The United States has not agreed to fully exit Iraq by then, and instead is shifting to a different, smaller presence and mandate. Iraqi state-owned banks suspend operations until the beginning of next year. Banks will resume their normal operations and begin promoting banking transactions and services at the beginning of next year after completing the patent inventory and auditing procedures in accordance with the approved regulations. Before her work ends at the end of the year, UNAMI signs documents to hand over its Baghdad compound to the Iraqi government. Keep in mind the United States already did that with its massive 1-mile square compound the US government had in the green zone of Baghdad. They already turned that back over. The US is building a new $800 million embassy in the Kurdistan region. This right here is the UN announcing Iraq's sovereignty and removal of sanctions to the entire world. They said, "We're done. We're exiting your country. We're going to give you our compound back to you." That's a sovereignty announcement. The IMF and United States Treasury are like a proud mother and father of the monetary reform of Iraq. They see everything the CBI is now doing with Trump and Oliver Wyman because we are watching and pushing them. Maybe it's all for January 1st. We will make Iraq great again. Joe Wilson and Savaya shape the new American role. They are Diraning Iraq, returning Iraq to a sovereign and healthy state without all of the Iran militias. Iraq is set to implement a new currency mechanism on December 1st, 2025, but it did not get implemented on December 1st, and so why? Could it be the elections and the issue with the Iranian militias? Remember, once they implement this new currency mechanism, there is no turning back. Everything must be in place for the financial entities to support it. My CBI contact has told me this date is now moved out until January 1st, 2026. We should all understand why. The UN is ending its mission and work within the country of Iraq December 31st. Last weekend the UN flew in. Its big dog, which was Antonio Guterres. He took a fancy limousine ride with a gun salute, and he walked into Iraq's capital of Baghdad on a red carpet. He met with Sudani side by side. They each had their own podium. They each gave their own custom speeches. Guterres spoke and congratulated Iraq for achieving all their minimum requirements to restore their sovereignty. Monetary policy indicators confirm central bank first in 2025. This means they have all the access to banking and monetary reform for the years of 2023 to 2025. They are telling us that they have completed in 23 and 24 and 2025, that they have completed this massive reform that is solely designed to lift the purchasing power of the dinar. They are telling us they will finish the banking reforms during the rest of this month. When you go to the redemption center only, you'll be able to ask for the contract rate on the dinar, which is quite good. President Trump has already orchestrated that for us some time ago. That is an excellent, crazy, high rate. Syria and Iran have formally moved to redenominate their currencies. Syria removing 2 zeros from the currency. New banknotes are planned, with a 12-month period in which old and new notes will circulate together. A note like £5,000 will effectively become 50 in the new scale, but keep the same purchasing power. Iran's parliament has approved a redenomination plan to remove 4 zeros from the rial, replacing 10,000 current rials with one new unit. The law gives the central bank up to 2 years to prepare, and then up to 3 years of dual circulation of old and new currency. So the change is legal and underway, but not instantaneous. As you see, this news of all roads lead to an RV. Wrong. Values do not change. None of this is immediate, and none of it has anything to do with Iraq revaluing their currency. Iraqi economist warns of possible dinar devaluation. Amid fiscal pressures, quote, Al-Mashadani said, growing discussion within financial and government circles points toward a potential devaluation of the Iraqi dinar against the US dollar, despite its serious social consequences. With falling oil prices and forecasts such as JP Morgan's outlook on future oil markets, the next government may find no financial exit except changing the exchange rate in order to pay salaries, wages, and operating expenses. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.